Hi guys, welcome back to Bettina Libre. Today I want to talk about something that I call the virtuous cycle. Back in 2017, when I experienced a mental breakdown, I realized that there were certain activities that altogether will make me feel better and ease my anxiety symptoms. Especially because at the time when you're experiencing an anxiety crisis, you cannot do much. I reached a point in which I couldn't get out of bed and I needed to go back to what I call the basics. And I realized this because most of the time people think or do things that actually will not make them feel better. Like, for example, drinking alcohol. A lot of people think that by drinking alcohol they will reduce their anxiety, especially like social anxiety. And the thing is that alcohol transforms into sugar in our bodies and also dehydrates your brain. So those two things are very detrimental to people that experience anxiety. Some other people turn to food. That is my case. I usually turn to cookies, to cakes, to anything that has sugar. Ice cream, for example. I love ice cream. And the thing is, it's not just that I eat one ice cream or two cookies. I tend to eat the whole box. I will just like grab a box of cookies and eat them without stopping. Nobody could stop me. And I even felt a little bit guilty, well, very, very much guilty after doing that. But the thing with sugar is that it releases dopamine in big amounts of dopamine in our brain. And afterwards, you're gonna have a big crash, like I usually experience. I first get the sugar rush, and afterwards, I crash, and it's like a vicious cycle. I get the rush, then I crash, and I wanna eat more cookies. So it's not very good for you. So in this case, let's take a look at the virtuous cycle. And the first tool in this virtuous cycle is eating well and healthy. In my case, I also shared in one of my previous videos that I used to be a pescatarian. I removed red meat from my diet last year because I wanted to try being healthier. And the result from that is that my levels of vitamin B6 were depleted. And that's why at the end of last year, 2021, I switched to eating red meat again. And the reason why I did that is because red meat specifically has a lot of vitamins and minerals that are needed for our brain's function, especially the cell brains. And that is vitamin B6. So in my case that I have my levels of vitamin B6 depleted, I was not feeling well, and that also increased my levels of anxiety. So now my diet is very simple and it includes mostly all produce that is local. And I eat fish, I eat pork, I eat eggs. I eat a lot of eggs in different types, right? Like poached, sunny side up. You can be very, very creative with that. And also, like one of the staples of my diet are onions. And onions, which are a probiotic that I talk about this in one of my previous videos, also help me decrease my sugar cravings because I caramelize onions, and it's so simple. If you are interested in knowing how to caramelize onions, I can put a little bit of a recipe down in the comments. So I want to talk about as well on the tool number 2 of the Virtuous Cycle kit, that is keeping myself hydrated. As I mentioned before, sometimes we don't even realize that we are dehydrated. So if you start having thirst, that means that you're already dehydrated. So what I try to do now is to have a source of water very close to me. So I carry a bottle of water, a thermos, and I try to keep myself hydrated most of the times, because I also realize that even drinking one glass of water will help reduce my anxiety symptoms, and I will start feeling much better instantly. So it is that easy. Check that hydration level and drink water. And I will also suggest to drink plain water. You can supplement with natural juices or some teas, but the most recommended source of water should be plain water. The third tool is sleeping well. When we sleep, our brain processes emotional information, so you need to give the brain that time to process everything that happened during the day and to function properly. Especially REM sleep is a trauma release mechanism of the brain. So now I have established a sleeping routine, and I will suggest that people that have some problem sleeping also establish a sleeping routine to go to bed at the same time and to wake up at the same time, even during the weekends. And also a very important thing is to reduce the amount of time that you spend watching screens, from your phone, from your laptop, even the TV, because the blue light of phones and tablets and laptops will impact your sleeping routine and your sleeping cycle. The next tool that is in the kit of the Virtuous cycle is social interaction. When I have experienced anxiety crisis, I used to isolate, and that is not good. That is no bueno, and you should try to interact with other people, because what I realized is that I needed support. And at a time, I didn't know how to voice it. I didn't have the right language to communicate that I was going through a crisis. And also, it's very important to interact with people, because when we are interacting with others and we are bonding, our brains release this neurotransmitter that is called oxytocin, that it's actually calling the bonding hormone. So that bonding hormone is going to make you feel better and ease your anxiety symptoms. And I want to emphasize as well what I just mentioned, that when I was going through an anxiety crisis, I will isolate and I wouldn't want people to see me. But I think it is important to acknowledge that when you're going through this, that you need help. And that help, it's in the sense that people should be there for you, and you should be able to identify a support network that can understand and be empathetic with you during those hard times. I will make a video. One of my future videos will be about that, our relationships and our support network, and how to identify those people that are key in our mental health journey. For me, it has been a life changer. The fifth tool in the kit is being in nature. I am a nature stalker. I love the jungle. I love the beach. I am literally Mowgli, and sometimes I feel like I actually look like Mowgli, but I also feel like Mowgli. And the reason why I suggest being in nature is because when we are in nature, it will help reduce our levels of cortisol, that is the stress hormone, and it will also increase our levels of endorphins and dopamine. And these levels of increased dopamine and endorphins will create a joyful sensation that is much better than feeling anxious, right? So you can go for a walk in the park, and that counts as nature. So for myself, I am extremely lucky. I am able to go for a hike every morning in the jungle or take a swim at the sea, and it really reboots me. I feel so good after doing that. So please go get in nature. You will thank me later. And that takes us as well to our sixth tool in the virtuous cycle, exercising. Again, exercise will increase your levels of dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter that eases the sensation of pain and also will give you joyful sensations. Have you heard about the runner's high? That's exactly what happens. Your body starts segregating this hormone that makes you feel good, and since you're feeling good, you want to do it more and more and more and more. For some people, running, for example, it's boring. For me, it's kind of a meditation. So find that exercise that will help you move your body and make you feel better. So it's a matter of finding what is the best activity for you to be able to move your body. The last tool in my kit is sun exposure. And the reason why sun exposure is so good for you is because it will instantly help reduce anxiety symptoms. In my case, I actually feel like the sun hugs me. You know, like if I get a little bit of sun in my back, I feel like it's like a like a warm hug from the sun. And also because the sun helps you produce vitamin D, that is called the sunshine vitamin. It will help you reduce your blood pressure, and it actually will help you sleep better at night. For me, the sun is key. I'm actually a plant. I need water and I need sun. And also because I experience seasonal affective disorder, SAD, and I realized this when I moved from sunny Mexico to Canada in 2010. And the thing is, in Mexico, I really never experienced this because Mexico is literally always sunny. It can rain a little bit, but the sun will always shine. You know that every day the sun is gonna come out. So when I had that big contrast of living in sunny Mexico to going to Canada, where I will experience almost 10 months of intense winter, SAD was a thing for me, and also because I had depression. So now you know, guys, this is very important for you. Go out and be exposed to the sun. Well, guys, these are the tools that I usually use when I'm starting to feel anxious. If I feel that I'm going to go into an anxiety crisis, I hit the pause button and start doing this virtuous cycle that I know it will help me feel better. And the key to this is repetition and consistency. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And voila. 1 week and you will start feeling much better. I also remind myself to be patient. But again, after a week, I will start feeling much better, and that feeling better will help me continue. So I know that after a month, I will be even better without any medication and just by doing these simple activities. Guys, if you like these videos and you want me to continue making them, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share them. You can also watch my previous videos, my anxiety story and foods that is anxiety. And I will see you until next week. Ciao!